So let me get this straight. You're telling me that in the future, there's going to be ships on the river that I can get on?
And there'll be big rooms with beds, actual beds, and big windows that open, so I can lay back and look at the countryside as we mosey on down the river from place to place.
And it's not jammed full of people, so there's plenty of space. And then, when I stop, I can choose the way I explore. I can do anything I want to do, not what I have to do. Seriously, this is going to be a thing.
Hello and welcome. I'm Rose Kelly, your host.
And I'm Peter Lynch, Editor-in-Chief of cruisepassenger.com.au and Cruise and Travel Luxury Magazine.
I've got to say, Peter, that was a very interesting start to the show.
No wonder that poor Viking sounded incredulous, but seriously, it is a thing.
It is a thing. Now, this show is devoted exclusively to a form of travel that involves passing through beautiful cities and towns and villages, enjoying the sights, tasting the cuisine, and experiencing the culture of the places that you visit.
We call it the world's most relaxing holiday because you can see as many as 5 countries without catching a flight, jumping on a coach, or packing or unpacking.
I love that. In fact, your boutique hotel of only around 150 guests, it all comes with you.
I'm sure you've guessed. We're talking about river cruising, one of the fastest growing sectors in travel.
And it is officially a thing.
Love your enthusiasm, Rose. Many river cruise companies have come very close to selling out completely in their 2025 bookings. Some cruise lines are around 90% full right now. And the push for what's called shoulder season bookings has been so successful that they've extended the cruise season to almost year round.
I knew shoulders were going to be big
Yes.
again, Peter. I knew it. Now, last year we ran a campaign for a group of leading river cruise lines called the River Cruise Collective, and it was enormously popular.
That could be why they're selling out this season, don't you think, Rose?
I think it's likely to be the case. We reached over 3 million Australians with the message, you see the world differently on a river cruise.
And that's true, Rose, especially in Europe, the most popular river cruising destination. While ocean cruising companies are worried about overcrowding, river cruise lines can take you right to the heart of cities, and because their vessels only take around 150 passengers, they are much easier to accommodate.
So no queuing for tenders to take you ashore. I hate queuing. And you are already ashore as soon as you stop.
Interestingly, one of the world's most successful ocean cruise lines, Royal Caribbean-owned Celebrity, is now announcing that it will be launching 10 river ships.
Just 10 new ones. And
To start.
destinations are also expanding. AmaWaterways has just launched on the Magdalena River in Colombia. Abercrombie and Kent is sailing in Peru. And Portugal has become the new hotspot with new ships from AmaWaterways and APT.
You'll be hearing much more of that. The Mekong, Ganges, Nile, South Africa and Latin America are all seeing more lines offering fresh itineraries with some fascinating side excursions.
And that's the other big trend, Peter. You've mentioned it there. More excursions and extensions that can turn a single cruise into an entire adventure.
And there have been some really interesting changes in guests. The average age of a river cruiser has come down, more activities on ships.
I love it. You can kayak, hike, ride bikes to the next town and meet your ship there, take wellness courses. It is a whole new world.
And of course, you are right there in the centre of things, so you can visit produce markets, cooking schools, art galleries and museums.
And you can wine and dine on shore and jump on the ship afterwards, or experience the local produce and visiting the vintners on the ship itself.
Most of the lines are all inclusive, so you won't have to worry about a thing.
And one last thing, there is a marvellous intimacy about river cruising. Because there are fewer and mainly like-minded guests with you, You get to know people and you form those friendships really very quickly. It's one of my favourite things about
I
it.
really love it too. Yes, that's a great benefit. Traveling with like-minded people is one of the most important aspects of small ship cruising.
Now, today we are going to be speaking with each of the cruise lines involved in the 2025 River Cruise Collective campaign. We have AmaWaterways, Avalon Waterways, Abercrombie and Kent, APT, and TAUC.
Each of these lines has something special to talk about. And if that isn't exciting enough, then this will certainly get your attention. Today, we are offering some extraordinary deals and special experiences. Each of our cruise line partners have put together something exciting just for you.
Actually, a huge competition. Avalon Waterways is giving away a Reflections on the Rhine cruise twin share in a panorama suite valued at $22,420, plus up to $5,000 in flights per couple.
Wow, that's a $27,420 holiday package for one lucky couple. So enter right now.
Well, you've got to watch the show first, actually, and then you can enter. But definitely stick with us for today and you'll find out all the details throughout the show. Very exciting.
Enjoy the show. It's going to be wonderful. So now let's turn to one of the world's biggest river cruise lines. AmaWaterways has just launched the first ever cruises in Colombia, launched a second ship on the Douro in Portugal, and partnered with the famed Smithsonian Institution to bring a new level of expertise to its guided journeys.
Joining us is Steve Richards, our good old mate, Managing Director for APAC. Welcome, Steve. Great to see you again.
Thanks, Peter Rose. Great to be with you guys. Always love our chats. They're very enjoyable.
We have a good yarn, don't we?
Me too.
Now, Steve, as Peter mentioned, there's so much to be excited about right now with Ama. And most people are across the new brand. Everyone's catching up really quickly. But you're definitely making a pretty cool name for yourselves.
Yep.
You've hit the ground running.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we've been super excited. For those that don't know, we've only been in the Aussie market and New Zealand market for 1 year now.
Yep.
But the company's been around for over 22 years as a river cruise operator. So we certainly know what we're doing. But this year has been an incredible journey launching our brand to the Aussies and Kiwis, and the uptake has been incredible. They're loving the rivers we go to. They're loving the onboard experience, and it's an exciting time. We earned the pinnacle of our time as a company. We're going to be launching, wait for this, 10 ships in the next 2 years.
Wow.
So we're on a massive growth trajectory,
That is
and
fantastic.
it's just the appetite of river cruising is just phenomenal.
It speaks volumes, doesn't it? I mean, you don't just build 10 new ships if there isn't a demand for it.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
And perhaps many people don't realize that AmaWaterways is a company purely focused on river cruising. Is this because the company really thinks it's the focus and the big deal of travel?
Yeah, look, we're proud of the fact that that's all we do. We like to think we're experts in river cruising because we don't get distracted by other methods of, of transportation and other sections in the travel industry. Our co-founder and CEO is called the godfather of river cruising, Rudy Schreiner.
Yes.
And he set up many of our competitors' programs before he decided to do it himself. So we certainly know what we're doing. We're proud that that's all we focus on. And we're one of the biggest in the world now.
Yeah,
Wow.
fantastic.
So, I mean, I've got to say this. When I talk to my mates about river cruising, most people think I'm talking about the Murray River. Okay. And then when I say to them, no, think Colombia, right? They go, whoa, this is what Ama is now doing. For those at home who don't know, Ama has obviously just launched the hot new destination of Colombia as a river cruising destination. Do people sound surprised when you pull that one out of the hat?
Yeah, look, they do. It does raise a few eyebrows. Colombia as a country has had sort of a stigma brand reputation for a number of years. However, it's changed dramatically over the last few years. It's incredibly safe destination and becoming very popular. Although it's going to be an incredible option to experience. Now, you can't just launch a new river overnight. It's incredibly difficult and challenging pioneering activity that we've done. This was 5 years of research and development. This river hasn't had any ships our size on this river since 1962.
Wow.
So, it starts in the Andes, it flows through the heart of Colombia, and we're going to be taking our guests to places where Well, we are ready, actually. We started just a couple of weeks ago, and
That's
there were
right.
tens of thousands of locals lining the riverbanks and over this one
Congratulations.
bridge. We've got this video footage of them waving. They haven't
Oh,
seen tourists in these areas in central Colombia
I love
forever.
it.
I've
So
seen
it's
that footage.
exciting.
It's
I
actually
love
really
that.
emotional when
Yeah.
you see it because these are the locals that have known a way of life. And part of that is the draw card for people wanting to travel there is to witness that, the simplicity and the beauty and that remote nature of the
Yeah,
region.
and they've
But
embraced us.
what a
Yeah.
difference, Steve, in terms of tourism today, to
Yeah.
realize and to see the difference you're making with your holiday dollars, if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember you telling us how local people were embracing it. They were turning into restaurants. They were creating things for people to do. They were just really loving the idea of having the visitors.
Mm.
Yeah,
And
they
I,
were, and I mean, look, like I said, it took 5 years, so they got a point where they thought we might never even come. So, and then when they saw us sailing, they were like,
Amazing.
"Wow, it's happening, it's real," because we had to build
Yeah.
the docking infrastructure in the river, we had to build the shore excursion. This is like expedition river cruising, we're
yeah,
going really off the
exactly.
beaten track down here, and it's really been appealing to those clients that or guests, the travelers that have been everywhere, done everything. They might have done the 7 continents, they have done, 100 countries, and they're really looking for something that nobody else has bragging rights or can talk about around
Yeah.
Fabulous.
the coffee shops or the dinner table. So yeah, that's why people are booking this in big numbers. It's sold out for the first few months, and
Wow.
it's new frontiers, which
And
is quite
Aussies,
rare in travel.
Aussies going too, Steve.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The American market have taken on to it, but the Aussies, yeah, we got good numbers. New Zealand
Great.
actually as well, really surprising. They
Cool.
a small little nation, but they're very well travelled over there across the ditch. But no, Aussies are loving it. And look, they're not just going to do the river cruise. The research we've seen, they're booking trends, and they're booking more of South America as well. So they might be doing Machu Picchu, they might be
Fabulous.
doing the Amazon or Galapagos, and then they now adding in a river cruise and making it like a 3-week expedition of that continent,
It's
South
the
America.
gateway.
What a marvelous thing to do for a country like Colombia
Mm.
to actually create that whole industry for them. And one of the stories I love about AmaWaterways is their strong desire to get guests to experience local culture. I remember co-founder Gary Murphy telling me last time he was over that they close the bar after dinner, not because they don't want people to have a drink, but to encourage guests to go out and explore the town, go into the bars.
Kicking you
Well,
out.
well, actually,
Off
you
you
The,
go.
the, rev- the
It
reverse
makes
of
sense.
the
Yeah.
reverse of so many companies who want to keep you on board and keep your dollars flowing on board.
yeah.
They want to get them out to experience what's
wonderful.
going on the streets.
Well,
I
you're
think
sort
it's
of
a
right and
great
wrong
way.
on that one, Peter. We don't close the bar. The bar is open, but it's not included.
That's
Yeah.
Ah.
well, no, that's
So
Well,
that's
Aussies
fair.
see that as being closed.
That's
'cause
closed.
we're
Yeah.
tight
That's
asses.
closed.
So, it's
Yeah,
it's finished.
and you see why that works so well is because people don't feel obligated then to stay on board and drink because they haven't.
Exactly.
It's not included in their cost of their fare. So their fares, the value's there, but that's not included. So we want them, like you said, to go ashore and drink with locals and experience the destination. I
Yeah.
mean, the great benefit of river cruising is you do dock in the central locations of these 1,000-year-old towns and
Wow.
villages that were founded on the river as their commercial method of sustainability. And that's where your playground is. That's where your area is. So don't drink
Yes.
at a bar with travelers. Drink with locals in
Yeah.
local bars and restaurants.
That's where the
Yeah.
real stories start to come out. That's
Yeah.
that's where
Absolutely
the
love it.
memories are made.
Yep.
Just before we do leave you, Steve, I just want to know, if you had to describe one highlight that people could imagine they could experience on this new itinerary through Colombia, what would you describe that as? Give us like a taste, a tease of what's available.
Oh, okay, yeah. To pick one highlight would be hard. I mean, so the itineraries are doing like a figure of 8 loop down this Magdalena River. So they start in either Barranquilla or Cartagena, and then they'll go down. Um, I think down in like Mompox and El Banco is where the real action's going to be because this is now the heart of the country where tourists haven't been. We've got a jazz performance down there
Oh,
with
fabulous.
for locals that are
Yes.
just putting it on for our guests. I think Cartagena is a bit visited because the ocean cruise lines pull in there on the coast. But when you get down into the heart of Colombia, I think that's where the magic's going to happen. We'll use the shore excursion boats to take the guests bird watching down there. It's actually the second most biodiverse country in the world. So it's not. So wildlife is going to play a huge part, but it's also, coffee, music, the culture. So I think to pick one thing, I think maybe that jazz performance down in
I'm
Montauk with the
picturing
locals.
the white linen suits and the Panama hats right now. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Sounds absolutely
Thank you,
fabulous.
Steve. That's brilliant. And I put you on the spot, so you pulled that one out of the Panama hat, so to speak.
And we'll be hearing lots more about AmaWaterways. We haven't even started. The new Ama Magna, for instance, that's
It's
coming
going to be
out.
called the Ama Rudy after
Oh,
the
the-
Oh, I
Godfather.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So he gets his own
there's an
ship, which is,
insider
I think,
tip.
a beautiful testament to his influence on the history of river cruising. So that ship comes out, and that's the 10th of those 10 ships in 2 years, and that'll sort of accumulate with those all coming out in 2027. A double wide ship only on the Danube.
World's
It's
biggest.
amazing.
World's
Yeah.
biggest.
And speaking
Absolutely
of numbers, there you can find $3,000 cruise fare savings per stateroom on popular European cruises, plus $100 on board credit and a complimentary upgrade. So check it all out at AmaWaterways.com. Steve, it's just been brilliant chatting with you yet again.
Thank you so
Same.
much. Absolutely
Love
terrific.
chatting with you guys. Can't wait for the next one.
Excellent.
See you soon.
We'll see you soon, Steve.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.